And welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to answer some of your questions regarding bulk shopping and what to do and what not to do and stuff like that. I'll answer the most asked questions, and I'll also show you what I usually do and what I bring along when I go bulk shopping. One of the most asked questions I've ever got regarding bulk shopping is regarding meat and wet food of sorts. All kinds of wet food. I suppose that also includes stuff like juice, some milk, something like this. And the stuff is that I've been to several places for meat buying purposes, several butcher shops in addition to a supermarket. And the problem I usually run into is that they say that they cannot do that, and it's against the rules to bring your own jar. When I go for meat shopping, I usually bring a jar like this, and then I usually bring one or two, depends on how much I need. But they usually tell me in the supermarket butcher shops that they cannot do this, it's against the rules, and that is a big pile of horse crap. But sadly there's not so much you can do about it, because I'm very pushy when it comes to my bulk shopping, and they won't let me do this, so I just don't shop there. Instead I go to a local butcher, or the butcher that is at the farmer's market. They're much nicer. The meat is also much better quality anyway. And they are also fine about me and my jars and my bulk shopping, and they really seem to enjoy the alternative way of thinking, actually. Some of you guys asked whether or not it is pleasant or not to explain all your actions all the time, and how people are reacting when I come with my jars. And the reactions are rather different. Some of them are not negative, but just like this, ew, what's she doing? So just a bit skeptical, and then I explain, oh, this is because I don't want to use any plastic or any disposable packaging, so I usually just wear my own, and I boil it so it's sterile before you put the meat in, so it's all fine and it's good. And then usually most people will go, nice job, and I love that. It's such a brilliant feeling to feel that some people actually seem to understand, but just never thought of the alternative themselves. That's usually the reaction I get from the local butchers, so that's why I usually go there. Other kinds of wet food, some places you can get milk and juice and stuff like this in bulk, but we cannot where I live. And that's the tricky part, I believe, about bulk shopping and about zero waste package free shopping in general, is that the variations of bulk stuff and bulk foods, they vary from place to place and from one place to another. So there's nothing similar anywhere. And this video is just me explaining the resources that I have and how I choose to utilize them. Okay, so we have no juice, milk, any kinds of liquid beverage related bulk anywhere I live, except for, you know, cola taps in fast food restaurants, stuff like this. But if I want juice, I usually buy organic oranges, and I just squeeze them myself. Milk wise, I do not drink that much milk, but my boyfriend does, and he buys this eco-friendly packaging that is made from recycled paper, and then it's produced into a milk carton, and then that's it, because I can't do much more there. Other kinds of wet food, oh yeah, stuff like cheese, feta and mozzarella, stuff like this. I usually go to a specialized local cheese shop, and in cheese shops you can also bring your own jars, yay! And you can explain to them why you do this, and you can explain that I've boiled the jar before, it's completely hygienic and sterile, and they usually just think you're awesome. And for cheese shops I bring jars like this, or maybe just one size bigger than this big. But usually small jars, because I do not use that much cheese, but I like it on top of my pasta, for instance, or in a salad. So I just bring enough for that, and yeah, a jar on this size-ish. Okay, I believe that was wet foods. Okay, next is stuff like sweets and nuts and snacks in general. That's a really easy one in bulk thinking because it's really easy to come by. I usually do that. We have all over Denmark, we have bulk sweets. So I just usually bring my own little canvas bag, like this one. And then I use it like I would use one of the disposable paper or plastic bags, but I use my own. In this one today I have cashew nuts because I came by a supermarket that has bulk nuts. They have bulk salted almonds, pistachios and cashews. So I really enjoy that, and it's not very far from where I live. So the great thing here is that I can always have my bulk nuts, and I really like that. They also have it sometimes at the farmer's market I go to, and that's one of the things that I love most about the farmer's market is actually that the variety of the selection of foods, it always changes. So it's very dependent upon the season and upon what is available to them. So sometimes I can get baby spinach in bulk, I can get unsalted almonds, which are used for makeup, but sometimes I cannot, so I usually just go there all the time. Yay! Some of you guys also asked what I do in bulk regarding stuff like pasta, or bread, or carbs in any sort of way, flour as well. And flour, all kinds of flour, generally I cannot get in bulk in Denmark or in Aalborg where I live. So instead I try to buy packages that are unprocessed. And what I mean with this is that if you cannot get it in bulk, you should try to get it in recyclable cardboard instead, or in recyclable paper. Some of the paper packaging is like coated with some sort of shiny surface that is plastic related, and I try to stay out of these and try to avoid them, and just use like try to find a packaging that is matte instead, because that means usually that it is unprocessed, but you can just feel the packaging whether or not it's shiny or smooth, or whether it's a bit rough. If it's rough, it's unprocessed, and then it's good, and then I will just throw it in the recycling bin afterwards. That's what I do with flour. It's almost the same I do with my pasta, because I have not been able to find a place where there's bulk pasta yet, and that is really bothering me. I do two things. Either I make my own with eggs from the farmer's market. That is so great. It tastes awesome. And oh sorry, these kind of pasta I usually make are either spaghetti or ravioli or tortellini. I don't make those fusilli-ish types. I usually buy them in recyclable cardboard as well. I have been able to find a brand of pasta that comes in recyclable cardboard without that little plastic window that sometimes is placed inside the carton, because that's just stupid. But yes, and that's great. So what did I say? Oh yeah, bread. My boyfriend is a brilliant baker, and he usually makes his own bread all the time, and it's great and it tastes awesome. But when we are not making our own bread, I usually just bring a canvas bag. That is my favorite word. I usually bring a canvas bag around this size to our baker, or to the baker that is in addition to the supermarket, because that's really close. And then I just tell them what I want, and they can just put it in this giant bag. Problem with buying bread from places like the supermarket bakery is that when they take your bread, they usually put it on a plastic glove and they throw it away afterwards. And I've been observing this happen a lot, and it really bothers me. So if you want to, you can also just avoid the situation by not going to these places, but if you're forced to in some way, or you need to, just tell them that do not put on the glove, instead put your hand in the canvas bag and pull it inside out with the bread inside. I've done that a few times when I need to go to the baker's that is in the grocery store, but usually I just try to go to a local baker, because then they're much easier to talk to, because it's their own little shop, it's not a giant corporation. So they're usually easier to talk to, and they usually use some sort of tool to get the things. That's easier. What do we need to talk about also? Oh, of course, the most obvious one, that is greens and veggies and fruits and stuff like that. It's really easy to get without packaging. Actually, you can get a rather small selection of package-free fruits and veggies in the supermarket, where I live, that is, and you can get everything unpackaged at the farmer's market, and that is awesome. And that's usually what I do. Usually I also visit the greengrocers, that is not only just a few times a week, but they're there all the time. Small shops with only fruit, and that's awesome. And they are usually also unpackaged. When you're scouting through everything, either at the grocery store, at the greengrocers, or at the farmer's market, you usually come upon that some things are unpackaged and some things, maybe a small selection, are packaged. And what I usually try to do is ask them what is seasonal foods and what was imported, because I would usually just like the local grown seasonal foods, and that is usually what is unpackaged, because that's something they grew themselves. But usually they get something imported as well, like cucumbers, avocados, stuff like this, and that is usually packaged because it had to be transported. So I would avoid that in particular. But when you do this, that means that you will almost exclusively eat seasoned food, and that is so healthy for you. I personally really like it, because that means you can get the freshest, best quality foods that are not imported, so it is as sustainable as something can be. In my head, there's nothing sustainable about eating avocados or eating strawberries that has been transported long distances, but I would rather stick with seasonal foods, unpackaged local seasonal foods. Yeah. I hope you liked this video, guys. If you have any comments regarding bulk shopping or serious shopping in general, leave a comment down below and ask me something. I would love to make another video if there are things you guys are wondering about. Otherwise, I hope you guys liked this video, and leave me a thumbs up if you liked it. You can also subscribe, that would make my day, and you can follow me on Facebook, facebook.com/thepictureofmary, and you can also follow me on my blog on my own domain, gittemary.com, and of course stay tuned on Instagram, where I'm also known as Gittemary. Have a lovely day, guys, and see you guys next time.